band, but he became a good friend to me over the years, and Dario's been a good friend, and he always helps me out with problems and all that sort of stuff. I can't say anymore.
Thanks so much for that, Bob. Yeah, it's been a real pleasure working with your band, the Busy Men, since 1999 in whatever shape or form. Just going to be doing a bit of speech. And I have to tone this one a bit down a little bit because it's not appropriate to use words like bullshit or bitch or Scott Morrison in front of CHIODREN. Anyway, there's an old saying in popular culture that life begins at 40. It only seems like a few weeks or months ago that I celebrated my 40th birthday at the Beaches Club in Fortitude Valley. And the last 10 years I've had it been pretty much a roller coaster ride. I've had some really fantastic moments as well as some unfantastic moments, just like everyone else, that has defined my years from 40 to 49. Some of my main highlights included my musical compositions, Lester Finchbury and Viva Nudistas, being included on the albums Stepping Stone by my sister Melissa and the Brisbane band The Nudists, as well as a song that I wrote for the band D-Wiz 2.0, Get Over Me, getting some airplay on 4ZZZ FM. Not many people know this, but in 2013 I also had a viral hit song on YouTube called Naked, which I recorded with a couple of pickup female musicians for my band project, Laissez-Faire. It was recorded at my former place in Bethania in the dining room with me on guitars, Cassie Trent and Shirley Morris on drums, and it cost zilch to make. It was a demo track which did not have any promotion on radio or TV or by a record label or publishing company. Yet within 9 months it notched over 115,000 hits on my YouTube channel. It even overtook the Veronica song Cross My Heart in the viewing stakes for a while, until somebody falsely reported the video as being pornography and it got deleted from my channel. I tried to appeal the decision and re-upload it to no avail, so I just put it up on Vimeo instead last year, which has got over 7,000 hits. I also featured as a backing vocalist with Brisbane R&B garage band The Busy Men, when they were briefly a 5-piece band between 2010 to 2012, and performed with them at several venues like Rick's, Spring Hill Hotel, the Crown Hotel, the Beetle Bar, now known as the Flaming Galah, as well as the Flavours of Scars Festival, which got a write-up in Time Off magazine. In late 2012, the day that Laissez-Faire did their first ever live performance at a mini festival at Lawley Street City Farm, I was approached by Luke Henry, the bass player from Violent Soho, to meet the guys and feature in the video for their track Neighbour Neighbour, held at a friend's place in Zilmia, in which they wanted me to do a scene where skinny dips in the pool. I agreed to do it, and the band absolutely loved it, but unfortunately it didn't make the final cut. I decided to become friends with the band from there, and then in June the following year, Luke Henry messaged me again on Facebook and asked me to recreate the World Naked bike ride, which I had organised on and off in Brisbane from 2007 to 2013. I agreed to do it and filmed the video in an entire day in late June, from 7 AM to 5 PM with me wearing just a pair of runners, a tan-coloured C-string and a helmet, riding a bike all the way from Redcliffe to Kangaroo Point Cliffs, handing out these dummy World Naked bike ride posters to random people in the street. 98% of them were positive, and only 2% of people were genuinely upset and offended. The day following its release, the song got picked up by the Doctor, Vince McDowans, from Triple J Radio, as well as the morning show, and it was added to Triple J's A-list. The song also topped the charts on 4ZZZ, and it also got a bit of airplay on Triple M. On the back of the media flurry, Violent Soho went from being a cult underground rock band to becoming a household name after 7 years of hard work. And the following single, Covered in Chrome, became their signature tune, notching over 2 million views on YouTube alone and going gold without ever breaking the top 50 singles charts. Even today, I still get a number of Violent Soho fans at gigs who recognise me and go hitting me up for pics with them, which I'm more than happy to oblige. This year alone has been really shit for many people, but for me personally, it's been one of the best years of this decade for me. I featured on Emma Dean's computer choir recording real-life computer game doing harmony and backing vocals. I fulfilled a lifetime dream of posing for Spencer Tunick at a venue in the Gold Coast using the Zoom app called Stay Apart Together, where I was picked amongst 49 other people to pose nude in a lounge room wearing only a face mask. And I started working again at a pizza cafe in August with that boss. I was also interviewed on 4 podcast shows by The Naked Nerd, The Naturist Living Show, What We Do Is What We Do, and obsessed with about my naturist lifestyle in the band Laissez-Faire. There's also a few people I want to thank for making this decade a real standout, for one for me, in no particular order. First of all, I want to say a big thanks to Luke Henry for introducing me to Violent Soho and helping me to prove my haters were wrong when they said that I would never amount to do anything positive for the Brisbane music scene. Also, thank you, Luke's wife, Jasmine Henry, for introducing me to the film Embrace and for encouraging me to further my body positivity crusade for people who need it most. Thanks to my folks, Alan and Ro Weston, for bringing me into the world and for not taking me out of the world after some pretty exasperating scrapes I wittingly got myself into, where stuff like houses, cars, disgruntled ex-flatmates, and more seriously, being on the brink of homelessness a couple of times was a concern. Thanks to my brother and sister Lee and Melissa Weston for being supportive and helping me get back on track where work and music go. And especially thank you, Melissa and Tani, for organising tonight with the sound and decorations and stuff. Thanks to my psych, Dr. John Chalk, who I've been working with on and off for the last 29 and a half years in keeping my mental health and sanity intact in the face of a lot of ups and downs I've had, and for helping me not become an axe-wielding maniac. I want to say thank you especially to Julian Origlasso for your consent for me to start up the Veronica's fan group on Facebook, which is also the largest and most productive one of them all, which is still thriving after 8 years. I also want to say thank you to Jessica and Lisa Origlasso for your support and encouragement of me at times when I was in a pretty bad headspace, and encouraging me to just get out there and reach out to people who are marginalised and less fortunate than me. Marching with you ladies together in the Equal Love Rally in 2015 was definitely a highlight of this decade, especially as Australia finally won the rights to LGBTIQ marriage not long after. And more recently for supporting the Queensland Brain Institute, which I also want to get involved with next year for their research. I want to say thanks to my brothers in rock, Boston Bob, the Busy Men, Mitch Gamble and D-Wiz for encouraging my musical creativity and my performances, as well as my sisters in rock, Justin Milburn, Nova Ciara, Amanda Brewer, Shirley Morris, Cassie Trent and Alyssa Morn for your continued encouragement. I want to say thank you to Jodie Joy Smith, Emma Dean and Tara Nielsen for your vocal coaching and helping me develop my singing voice, as well as pointing me in the direction that I wanted to take where my musical aesthetics are concerned. I want to say thanks very much to Jeff Lovejoy, Kezra Rasta, Bryce Moorhead and Brian Mann for your production work with D-Wiz 2.0. You guys have been a real pleasure to collaborate with, especially after being friends with Jeff and Brian for over 20 years. I want to say thanks to Shiraz Tilly for lending an ear and advising me when some others in the local arts and music scene were kicking me about like a rabid dog over my choice of lifestyle and musical collaborators. Also thanks to Finn Spin and his former girlfriend Kira Alexandra for reaching out to me in the naturist scene and helping me develop my own group, inspired with a few prominent naturist organisers heading on me. I want to say thanks Scott Hardiker, Kevin Gates, Dale McMillan, Owen Watkin, Nick Farley and Mark DeKarma for doing the same with my photography ventures, and for my model friends Louise Emily, Belinda Canap, Caitlin, Kateri Welsh, Sarah Kanovi, Liba Snow and Megan Hine for the awesome work that you've done with me this decade. I want to say thanks to Maitri Jayawardena, Corneille Rousseau, Louis Draggett and Tracy Helen for helping me come back to myself and renewing my spirituality and belief in the big guy upstairs. Celebrate Recovery has been a wonderful medium in helping me fix myself and become independent again. Also thanks Pastor Andrew and Aaron Ainsworth from the King's Table for your awesome conversations on my spiritual journey. I want to say thanks to some people I've lost. Thank you to the late Alan Merrill, who sadly passed away from COVID-19 on Palm Sunday this year. For those who don't know who he was the lead singer of the 70s teen glam rock band Arrows, who originally wrote I Love Rock and Roll, and it was a massive flop for them until Joan Jett picked it up 7 years later. I want to say thank you, Alan, for your deep and witty internet chats, and thanks for your cyber support for me during my creative peaks and troughs alike, and giving me some great insights as to how the music biz operates. You'll be sorely missed. Also want to acknowledge a few other friends I've lost this decade. Pastor Robert Wright, who passed away from cancer at the age of 60 in 2014, who encouraged my Christian and naturist convictions. My musician friend Tara Simmons, who passed away in 2019 from breast cancer at the only age of 33. And my community activist friend Katie Dowling, who co-organised the World Naked Bike Ride with me in 2009. Finally, I just want to say thanks to everyone who's attended tonight and helped make the night a really special one for me. You all rock, and you'll continue to have my support. As to the next 10 years of my life, to paraphrase the late great David Bowie, I know not what the next 10 years will hold, but I promise you all it will not be boring. Whether it be good, bad, ugly, beautiful, or even a combination of the lot, I just want to see these three magic words to them. Bring it on. Cheers, and thank you all.